Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. We are delighted that you have joined us today. This for me is an exciting video. We have had a number of our viewers say to us something like, Jim and Pam, you always show really expensive equipment and gadgets. Is there a way that you could show us some less expensive alternatives? And so for the last little while, we have really been trying to focus in on that because we want what we do at this channel to appeal across the board to anyone who is attempting to be prepared. As you know, we focus on self-reliance, food security, and emergency preparedness. And so today we are going to be testing a do-it-yourself oven that is powered with charcoal. I made it last night and fixed it up more this morning, and we're going to be testing it with bread. So I'm going to talk while I continue shaping my bread right here. One of these loaves will go into our oven as a test, and then the other will just go into the regular oven. So I'm shaping these loaves. This is half wheat and half white. I'm going to be adding the recipes to our website. As you know, we had a very successful launch of our new website yesterday. We were so thrilled with all the positive comments. Our address is roseredhomestead.com. And so we were very lucky to be able to get that domain name. I was thrilled when it was available, so that was really something. And I've started a recipe page, and before the weekend is out, I'm going to, under the title of breads on the recipe page, I am going to post all of my bread recipes on one sheet so you can have them all. One of the things that I wanted to announce today, which is pretty exciting, is that for those of you that watched our off-grid kitchen video, we showed a little Coleman camp oven that fit right on the top of either a Coleman stove. We use it on top of our rocket stove. And what I found out after that video was nobody had them. They were not manufactured anymore, and nobody knew if they were going to be back. Well, one of our viewers let me know on our Facebook page that they're back. So I'm so excited, and the link is now at the bottom of this video, and I know all of you cannot get those because you watch it on your phone or on the TV or something that doesn't show those things. So I've also already added it to our gadgets page on our website. All right, this bread is now ready to rise. It will be ready to go in the oven in a half an hour, and I'll take some of that time to then bring on our oven and show it to you and how I made it. So we'll be back in just a moment. This little oven will be familiar to many of you. I think Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts make these. This is a perfect project for kids as well. And all it is just a cardboard box that has been completely wrapped in foil. It is very critical that every square centimeter of cardboard be covered in foil. And I glued it down. And then because the temperatures on the inside from the charcoal are going to be up there, and we don't want any the cardboard, which is paper, to be exposed to that flame of any kind so that it won't catch fire. So this is about the size of a case of paper. This was just an Amazon box. And because I have recently shown you how to do a do-it-yourself solar cooker, I'm going to put that video link at the very end of this video so that if you want to know my method for mixing glue and gluing foil onto cardboard, you can watch that. But it is covered with foil inside and out, and on one side we have a little window so that I can look and see what is going on. Now what is going to happen is Jim is going to start some charcoal, and we're actually going to film him today starting the charcoal because we've had several requests on, please have Jim show us how he starts the charcoal. So he's going to show us that. Then we're going to put the charcoal out on our cook table. Now we're doing 12 briquettes today. Each briquette you can count to give in an oven situation about 35 degrees. And so I want the temperature in the oven between 350 and 400. And so that's why we're doing 12. So the briquettes go on the bottom, and then some kind of a rack will go over the briquettes. Now this one is not suitable because its legs aren't long enough. And so if I was going to be using this, I would use pieces of brick or something all the same height and elevate it above the charcoal about like this. But today I am going to be using this over the charcoal, and then my bread pan is going to go right here. And so then we just let it cook for the appropriate amount of time until it is done. So this is our test. I've not used this before. It's brand new. I just finished putting the tape around it this morning. I could just give you a couple of hints on this. Don't spare the glue and don't spare the foil tape. I used a lot of foil tape to reinforce the corners. Even though this is cardboard and foil, I want this to be able to last a long time because I will be using this. This is, from everything I've read, a really good way to cook off-grid. So we're gonna go out and set up and show you how Jim starts the charcoal. The bread is right here. It will be ready to go in the oven in about half an hour. So we'll meet you outside.
Okay, this is our charcoal chimney, and with that what we're going to do is go ahead and we've got to start the fire. But first what we need to be able to do is have the charcoal in, and it's there, and there are 12, as Pam said a few minutes ago, and we need some kind of way of being able to go ahead and start the fire. So Pam is wadding up the paper for me.
Tell me what paper it is, Jim.
Exam papers, students, term papers, drafts, those kinds of things. And with that, what we're going to do is wad them all up. And I need a fire starter too. Oh, fantastic. So it takes a little bit sometimes. And inside the charcoal chimney, there is a little rack. Inside the charcoal chimney, there's a little rack that allows enough paper to be there to go ahead and start the fire. So let's go ahead and have some more.
That rack is a cone,
this
so it gives room. This person got an A on the term paper.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, probably one more, and that'll be it. So again, it takes a little bit of maneuvering to be able to go ahead and put the paper in. Make sure that the charcoal chimney is stable, and go ahead and light the fire gun and go around a little bit, and it starts to smoke, and hopefully it will catch. And hopefully the charcoal will catch, and we'll kind of have to go from that point and see what happens. There we go. And we'll wait for a few minutes and kind of go from that point. So what we'll do is we'll come back and check it in just a few minutes. So this is what our fire looks like with the chimney. And we're waiting for it to go ahead and go down and start the actually start the coals. I'm not going to bring the camera over to the fire. It'll damage the camera. So when we get to the point to where we the coals are ready. Pam will go ahead and show you, and we'll go ahead and kind of go from that point.
So here are the finished coals. You can see that they're whitish on the edges and some are glowing. I'm going to just dump those out right here. Spread them out a little bit. Place my rack so I can put my bread pan on it in a few minutes. And I'm placing the oven right over the top. Even though this is made of foil, it is not solar. So I have made a little hole in the top for my thermostat, and $116 right now, 202, and climbing fast. And so when it gets up to about 350, 375, I'm going to go check the bread. The bread should be just about ready in about maybe 5 minutes or so. Hopefully about the same time that the temperature gets up to where we need it to be. So we'll come back when we are ready to put the bread in. All right, a couple of things in the interim. It hit a max temperature at 180 and then it began to drop. So Jim very quickly did another batch of 12, so we have 24 briquettes in there now. The other thing that I did was I put a piece of foil on the bottom underneath the briquette so it would reflect the heat back up. We're now up to 310, and I'm going to go ahead and put the bread in. This is probably about as good as we get. Now, handling this oven when it's hot like this is important. You don't ever want to tip it upside down. It is holding a lot of heat, and so I'm just going to try to tip it. This may take 2 hands to get it started.
Here, let me have I've got this,
No,
and I can hold that.
Okay. So I'm just going to set the bread in on that rack that's already there. Lower it down. Move the oven back in place and we'll see how much we lost. Well, we lost a lot. It's now 239. But it should climb, and it is dropping. Oh, well, I just put something cold in there. So we're going to just leave this, and hopefully it will get done sometime. The other one I just barely put in the oven as well in the kitchen, and so it will be done in about 25 minutes. This one is going to take longer, unless we can get that. Oh, now it's climbing back up again. Okay, so that's good. So it's going to take a little bit longer, and we'll see how it does. This is a test, and so the outcome is unknown, but we will soon find out. So we'll see you soon. If you can see this little thermometer, it is sitting at 178, so we have not been able to maintain a very high temperature. However, I tested the bread just a few minutes ago, and it is done. And it got brown, and I can smell it, so that is great. So we're going to take this in the house and do a little bit of analysis, so come on in. So I'm going to turn it out on the board here. Oh, look, it got nice and brown on the bottom. It's a little pale on the top, but not too bad for our first time in that little oven. I would not call it a resounding success, but I have enough data, enough information that I believe that we can turn it into something that is very, very effective out there. We need to do some more work with charcoal and with figuring out, I just feel sure that I can get it up to 300 or above, but I'm going to have to try some new strategies. In any case, we know that it will bake bread and that the bread will get done. So that is, from my perspective, the single most important thing. Now, if it does get up, it stayed over 200 for most of the time. The bread was in for about 1 hour and 20 minutes to get to this point, and which is fine. This one was done in 25 minutes, but it was also at 375 and holding steady, so we can see the comparison here. We will be doing more things in that oven, baking casseroles, doing other things, maybe trying biscuits, and I also have some ideas for improvements on the window part. So next time we come back with a video using that little outdoor oven, off-grid oven, you will see some improvements and we'll try some more things. So I hope that this will be useful to some of you, that you'll try it. It's a great project, as I said earlier, for kids to do. And so just be sure, if you're allowing children to work with it, that you monitor it and you're close by constantly. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again at our next video.